The number one thing in this map, the most important thing in both of these maps, right? They're both right here. Piece control and peak training will really help level up your gameplay a ton. Edit timing is something I've played a ton of. It's great because you're not punishing yourself against an actual player or in a tournament. It's against a bot, and you can do this infinitely. And this is a great way to improve your mechanics. I promise you, every pro player is playing this map. Like every top fighter got to the point where they are from playing a map like this, a mechanics training map like this. So I have the Twitch VOD. I think what might be a good way to start would be watching the fighting. Like you just said, you did PGs. I think this is a great thing to watch.
Yeah.
Critique you and like, I think it'll open up your eyes to what you're doing wrong and what you could do better.
Okay. I mean, the main issue for me as well is consistency as well. Like sometimes I'm pretty good, sometimes I'm really bad. I have no consistency. This is an average.
I got you. So I'll just break. Actually, what I'll do is I'll just break down each moment since you're watching live with me. Normally, when I watch, okay, I'll take notes and then we'll go over it. So we can do that still, and I want to do that as a part of this. But for this, I'll just break down everything that I'm seeing that you can do wrong, and I'll explain it. In general, I want you to try to break the habit of. I mean, I don't know if this is a very common thing. Maybe this is a 1 in a million time that you do this, but like this is inefficient for any retake. Like I explained this a lot. Retakes are always about getting further away from your opponent and getting elevated, right? And that like makes sense, right? Like you want to do things like side jumps, like at a diagonal, like how you're seeing. I'm now like, imagine the guys. Oh, reset. Imagine the guy's on my back right now. He's at the 1v1 ramp. You know, I'm going up and diagonal and away from him, right? So I'm going up and getting away. So it's like that is like retakes in a nutshell. Like that is like 1v1s in game realistics. Like if you're trying to take height, that is like that's the best way to do it. And so okay. I have the formula of doing it, which is just what I just showed you. It's just doing, but it's doing it like better and more efficiently with walls and hitting it and doing side jumps and diagonal jumps. And we can go into those if we need. But in general, I just wanted to quickly just be like, you should try to avoid, like I've always been asked, or I remember I coached somebody and they're like, I do this. And I'm like, cool, like that's great. But like, that doesn't really do anything. Like, unless you're doing it at like lightning speed, like, you know, it doesn't really help. And it just leaves more opportunity. It's like, it's too much movement. Like the big thing with Fortnite, and the reason why my retakes are helpful is it's crosshair placement, and you don't want to be doing, like you're seeing how my crosshair is. It's very chill. It's nice and controlled. It's like, I might be
I have an issue with that too.
But like, yeah, you're going to struggle a lot more if you're doing things like this, where you're like having to come down here and flick up, and then you're looking up, and now you're like, now you're trying to lock on the guy and try to make a shot. It's like,
I think most of the time when that happens, it's more reflexes in terms of anything. It's like I'm not doing it intentionally. It's more of I've messed up my builds. How do I get out of this sort of situation? You know, it's not. I don't mean to do that particular move sort of thing, but it's more
this.
Yeah, like I've put a ramp over myself. I need to get out of it.
I got you. I think in general, just like sticking away from that if you can. Like I think there's infinitely better things you can do. You can just continue to go up. You can use cones. You can, like, I know it looks easier said than done, but doing things like doing tricky movements like that are just makes it more complicated. Another
thing I struggle with as well is the crosshair placement when I'm building. I've kind of got that a lot better, but it's more when I'm, how do I describe it? Like when I'm doing, say, side jumps and things like that, my crosshair is like kind of all over the place. You'll probably see a lot.
Yeah.
So it's just practicing that as well. I don't know how to quite do that. I
got you. So next here, just a very minute detail, but peaks, right? Like you never want it. Two things, right? You're making a right hand peak for the enemy. Like if you think about this edit, it's a right hand peak for the enemy. So boom, this is how you're giving the enemy. This is what you have, right? So it's a bad peak because the guy could easily just take advantage of it. Secondly, you're peaking, like over peaking, right? So this guy didn't hit you right there, but a better player will 100% take advantage of it. Or like, let's say they don't take that angle where they're here, and instead they just take an angle straight ahead. Like this is a wide peak versus like, if you are going to make this edit, you know, it'd probably be better to do something like this, or even just like hit it and reset like a bait. Or yeah, I mean, there's 1,000 other edits you can do. Like you can do this and this, and you know, so yeah, being careful with over peaking, and that's just peak training, and we can go into depth on that. I don't know if some of these things, if you've heard already, then just be like, yeah, I know.
No, I mean, I guess it's a mental thing as well. Like peaks, I guess mentally I don't see it as a bad peak until I get hit, and I'm like, oh, that was a bad peak. Do you know what I mean? It's like when I see it mentally, I struggle to sort of in the moment see it as a bad peak until obviously, yeah, I think about it afterwards. I'm like, oh, that was a bad peak.
Yeah,
it's just yeah.
Yep. Here is a pretty decent shot. I mean, it's not necessarily a great peak, but at the same time, you're like, you know, he's coming to just swing into the wall. So it's like the timing, it works well. And this is pretty protected. It's better for you to do what you did here rather than doing something like this, because now you can just run straight in, right? So
Yeah.
That was good. And then here, I always teach this of like it's as simple as edit, pump, reset, edit. I always teach this. So it's like it's edit, pump. Well, we'll do the same scenario. So edit, pump, reset, edit. It has to be like you go for a shot. You have to be like your next reaction. Like even if you like edit, pump, miss, reset, edit. Like you have to edit, pump, like choke the edit. Doesn't matter. Like reset. Like you have to just start with this. And not, it's not necessarily to like make yourself like you see there's visibility difference. It's not to make yourself like less visible to the opponents. You can come over here. It's not that. It's more so if he runs in your box and you I'm saying you accidentally do that, or he gets your wall, which is very possible, right? Like when you make an edit like this, the guy can easily just grab the wall back and boom, now he has it, and it's just a mess. Like
so, just an extra build piece between us, basically, is what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's edit, pump, reset, edit, edit, pump, edit, pump, reset, edit. Like having that habit of doing that is huge. And then like the biggest thing is like being able to look like, being able to look down and get the reset or hit the edit like is important. Cause I've seen a lot of people like, and I might even see you in these future clips of just, you might just edit, pump, reset, and just sit like this. You know what I'm saying? At least like,
that's me.
Edit, pump, reset, and like, be kind of like, be looking down like this, right? So if he jumps in, you just boom. You know what I'm saying? Like I do this a lot too. You'll watch, the thing is like, you'll watch a lot of really, really good players do things that you do, and then you'll be like, wait, I do that, but it didn't work for me. It's like you might watch the world's best fighter do something like this and not reset his cone, but he's thinking about 10 different ways, and he's also quick to react, and you know what I'm saying? So I'm trying to teach you like the basics of just staying consistent enough to get to that top level. But there's I mean, there's a bunch of ways that you can play off of not having your cone edited. Like you don't necessarily actually, no, I would say you have to do it. Like you should always. It's just in this day and age. Make it a habit, basically. Yeah. Yes, make it a habit.
Nah. I have that issue as well, where I think the build's mine. It's not. I don't know if it's build placement issues or what. I don't know, but I need help with that. A lot of time I think it's mine. It's not.
Yeah, I got you. I mean, I think like a little bit speed, like you'll get in the groove of like what you're.
I think it's crosshair placement as well, though. I feel like because my crosshair placement, like when I'm building, is so bad. I feel like I might have got the build, but I haven't because they've got it and they've got better cleaner placement than I have. Like if it was tighter and a lot quicker, maybe I would have got there.
Yeah, I think that there's like, I mean, in creative alone, like just 1v1s, right? There's like you need to have a better like start and like a smoother start. I don't know. I'm sure you know how to do like these are very inefficient for 90s. Like let me show you something that can maybe expand your brain. So it's simple as just 90s like this, right? Like I'm sure you've seen these. You know how to do these. Like you're doing options like this, which is fine. Like it's fine to do these things, but 90s like this, and then throwing them into like a retake where you come like that and up is a really good way to just get on top of your opponent. So it's just simple as you hit 190 or 290s, whatever. I just do 2, and you put a ramp out and you just come up 1 more. It's very, very simple. You got your top of your 90, boom, boom. Also, if you do decide to do things like this, like if you are, I'm just trying to give you options. If you are like stuck on doing a retake like this, which it's fine, and in game it's not really that bad because you do want to conserve mats. I would suggest doing things where you place the stair first on the second stair first. So it would look something like this, where you go up, and you place that stair first. If that makes sense.
Okay.
So up, right? So that way, at least you have a chance to wrap the opponent off. Like up, boom, up, boom, up, boom. That's like a very old technique, but it definitely could still work. And I think that having like, it's all about building and free building and fighting people in general is all about having like, you get that down, you're great. Boom, next. Can you get this down? Can you do 200 of these? Okay, great. Can you do, only diagonal? Okay, great. And then like you mentioned how you get like stuck on a build, or you get kind of like fumble and you end up kind of doing something like this. Like it's just all about flowing with it, right? Like, I didn't mean to go under my stair. I'm stuck on my this. Let me just flip it and let me go here and I'm stuck here. Let me go here. Let me do this. Like, it's just like, you just learn little moves. And this is what I'm trying to teach you, is like these little small things like, oh, now, I can do this instead of this. It's like, maybe that means you do a full, let me see. Maybe that means you do like a full speed 90, you come up here and then you hit it again like that. Like, I don't know. You can just combine things. And it'll make your building experience, 1v1's experience, fighting experience a lot better.
Okay, got you. They're all yours, right? Okay.
And then there, I mean, it's just more so like being patient and not rushing anything. Like you don't have to be like get on high ground first. Essentially, is what I'm trying to say. Like you don't have to go for the edit.
See, that's what I need practice
Right
with.
away.
I need help with that because like, I really do. Neither of those pieces were mine either. I thought they were.
No,
So.
Yeah, no, yeah.
First.
No, I feel like I am placing them first.
Okay, I'm gonna teach you another thing real quick. It's called the Twifo cone. So
Oh, is that the version where I'm doing the ramp over my head? It's a cone over my head
yeah,
on
like
the wall.
this.
Yeah.
Yeah, so being able to do this fluently on both sides, right? So here, 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 like, you know, switching, whatever, like just being, this is a great way to just safely take height. And then you can throw on, like, I'm seeing you do high walls, but they're a little messy. And so I feel like if you throw into the flow, like the flow of what I'm doing right now is very consistent. It feels good. And then you can throw up a high wall. And it's just like, it's just practicing Twifo cone, high wall. Like that is really technique. Like that is like, or that is really a textbook like retake. Like I could probably take height on somebody. Well, not necessarily. It depends on who it is, but like that is fine. Like what I'm doing, a Twifo cone into a high wall is a very flowy move. It feels very natural. It feels smooth, and it's not necessarily one of the things where like it looks like you're doing like you're like this, and then
Yeah.
it's like it just looks a little like clunky, and it doesn't have to be.
It does. Yeah.
Bro, my builds are slow.
And that's not mine either. Like what? And that's not mine either. Okay.
So think about peaks, right? He has the angle there. He has that
Yeah.
shot. Like it's equal chance for both you guys to hit each other. Like max.
Wait, I can't reload my shotgun.
I reload my shotgun. Nice, go.
Next thing, always cone in box, right? So if you're here and you're about to chop the guy into your box, right? Before you do this, it's a cone, right? So you can chop
Yeah.
him down, pump. Oh, I missed. You know, boom, no big deal. And then you're out. You get it out, and you go for a shot, boom, or you hit one of these. Like you can do a lot of options, but you have to have a cone in your box, especially like, I mean, I haven't pointed it out so far because this is the first time you've done it. But when you did this shot from the first clip, you had a cone in your box, right? I would have pointed it out.
I normally
instantly.
do. I actually normally do. I'm quite surprised myself I didn't do it in there.
Cool. Yeah, I mean that's fine. Like there's like I mentioned, you'll watch the best pros and they will do literally the same exact move that I'm teaching you, and they won't have a cone in their box, but they're ready for the stare and they're ready to like make a play off of the stare, and like it's all about like kind of thinking like a couple steps ahead from what the opponent might do. Like, oh, he stares me. Okay, I know this player's gonna edit, so he's gonna go for something like this, and I'll just line it up and hit it. It's like the best fighters are thinking about things like that really quickly.
For fuck's sake. Okay.
I would feel bad for this kid, man.
Wow. Yes, I feel bad for me, please. Thank you.
Bro, how did that cone not get you? Oh, no still pre-piece, bro.
I don't know what's happening. I also have an issue with the mantling as well. Like, I think I jumped so much that I mantle a lot by accident.
No, I feel you. There, it can get be like it can be really clunky. Mantling can be definitely messy, but it can also be super busted.
Did you win that? What?
Yeah.
I would say like, just starting out with, I don't know, I'm sure you do, but starting out with free building every day would be like a great way, and just doing the simple things of this, of just like
Yeah.
Triple
And
A
that's
to the
literally what I
sky.
do in the morning. Yeah.
and you get up and then 90s to the sky and you're doing things like this, like you're like literally what I've shown. If you can do this infinitely, which is very, very simple, this form, your gameplay will be so much smoother. Like you're like, oh, all right, he's on height. Okay, no worries. Let me get up here. Okay, let me crank some 90s. All right, and now do the things he's told me, like the retake, or like the height, the elevation quickly. Right, and like that right there is super simple. It's just learning about how to place the pieces and how to do them like efficiently. But this right
Yeah,
here,
I think the issue I had, I tried learning that for a little bit, but my movement was so bad that I just couldn't, like, again, I just really struggled, so I kind of stopped. But,
I got you.
okay, if it's something I need to learn, then yeah, well, I'll
yeah,
get that done
100%,
eventually.
100%.
Just the movement. I think, again, it's more moving right than anything. That's my problem.
keybinds
but
can be
it's
like
obviously-
that. Keybind,
Yeah, I mean,
it's,
yeah.
yeah, no, it's hard for me to do it left. Like it's I mean, I normally only do it to the right, but no, definitely like my Q is my cone, so it's definitely like, any left movement like is tricky. Like even going to do one of these things, like because I have to take my finger off of D to do it, but it's like you just get used to it. It's a part of just grinding mechanics, which I can go into in a second. I just want to finish these.
Bro, you need to chill.
So I think making edits like that, like where you even saw he's here and you're going for something like this, and it's like, you know, you kind of messed it up or whatever, like just understanding the peaks and like this is, you know, going to get you a trade. Like he's gonna hit you 100, you're gonna hit him 100, or he's gonna hit you max and you're gonna hit him like 30. You know how shotguns can be. So it's like thinking about peaks constantly will like evolve your brain a bit to understanding what is a good edit and what's a bad edit.
I need to learn peaks big time because I struggle in the moment.
And then here is a simple opportunity for like, it's like a layup opportunity for a cone here. Like you're on top of the guy. It's one of these. Like you're going up. Let's say you turn around, you beat him to the punch. It's this. Like it's always going to be a cone. Also on that note, like if let's say a typical PG start for me looks like I'll do like 290s, come up here, I'll do this, and like that technique of knowing how to do this. If you do know how to do it, that's great. But that can be something you do in this exact situation here where you're. I guess not exactly here, but let's see. You have the layup opportunity, like you have the cone right here, boom. You know he's gonna come up. He's turning around. You know he's turning around. So put a cone down. So now you just, and the cone doesn't mean you have to play like this and play on top of the cone. The cone literally means you could be like this. You could be crouching behind it, like he's coming up, boom, or you know put a wall, edit, boom. Like that is like a free kill there. But instead he kind of does a little bit of backwards piece to you, and you get stuck.
Yeah. That was bad peek on that one.
Yeah, and then here I'll just quickly explain it. This wouldn't have saved you in this fight, like, but you could definitely have, like, just want to open your eyes to the fact that like now you see he has no cone on his floor right here. You can tell that there's nothing there. It's layup opportunity again for something like this, where let's say it was like this, like right, boom, something similar to this, and you just edit the floor. Toss a cone through the bottom, boom, like that, cone through. And now, like, if you really want, now you have the, like, slight advantage, right? Now you can go for, like, the box, you can go for a play. Just want to open your eyes to seeing that is something that you can do in a situation where he's not going as fast, is you can just simply slide a cone through. And all you need to do is have an open space below and obviously no cone in the box, and you just slide one through.
Oh, okay.
And that's just a simple mechanic to practice. Like, that is, like, literally what I do for that is I just line up 100 walls, boom, come back, and I just go in and I go, okay. Oh, cone, got it, cone, cone, cone. I don't think I got a cone for this one, but yeah, you just line up your walls and practice a simple mechanic like that. It's super basic. Doesn't take much to get it down. Again, peaks, right? Like
I was about to peak. Yeah, I know that one.
Yeah. Also, again, like even if you don't put a cone here, there's a lot of options you can do. So like you take this peak here, and you know he's taking a peak too, or like he's doing something, right? Boom. You could peek, and like it should trigger right in your head, like wow, there's nothing on him. Instead of doing instead of just taking the shot and resetting, you could simply let's just put the floors here. Oh shit. Let's see.
I'm focused on doing the damage as opposed to taking an opportunity to piece. Yeah,
no, not necessarily. Like I'm not asking you to come out here and swing and full box them. Like I'm just saying, like you could go for a shot, boom, and like I'm like automatically putting a wall. You can go for a shot, boom, and stare him, and then you can go for your box. Like that is like a prime. Yeah. Like he's like almost in the perfect spot to be stared. You know what I'm saying? Like if he was here where I'm standing like right now, like you know if you put a stare, he's not gonna go behind it. But he was like kind of like this, like. Perfect, like boom, your box, like oh, and then you take the right edit and you kill him. So just realizing that that's an opportunity to take advantage of, just having nothing down. And I think like me explaining these opportunities for you to take advantage of are going to show you like how you could also be taken advantage of, and like why it's so important to have a cone down, because the player could, if you don't have a cone down, he could do the same thing to you where he comes under and slaps a cone through and does whatever. Or let's say you don't have a cone down and you edit and he's over here and he just puts a stare through and now you're dead. It's like understanding both sides of it is really huge.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, this like retake, if you want to make it like the best it could possibly be, if you want to stick doing this retake, I would say
no. I need a new one. So okay. I'm gonna learn that one. You sure?
Yeah, I would do the 90s. But if you're gonna do this, I would say, of course, you want to put the stare out first, and then stair out, and then cone like this. Or you could do come up, cone, and like cone like that, right? And then you can also cone yourself again to like make sure it's good to go. So full speed, boom, and like you'll catch him right here with the cone. Like let's play it back, boom. Like right here, if you did the cone trick, just like you would slide it over this top box right here. Like right here, you'd cone him on the top, and you'd cone yourself. Yeah. So I think a big thing, always when you're expanding and making space, is cones and roofs. So like, let's say you're here, you're coming out, like he's on this wall here, whatever. Let's make an edit. So like, looks like he's smacking on my wall. It's this. It's like you're always gonna just get your cone floors first, because this is like, if you get these two and you don't get walls, if you come out here and just do this, and he comes on your walls, or he gets like this wall here, and you're here, like worst case scenarios, you just hit one of these, or you come up and you're good. Like you're unstoppable if you have double edits on the top and double edits on below. Like you can up or down, and that's a way to escape. Like just like what you were trying to do. You were trying to come out and run out and hit a floor and go down or something like that. So like you can just always make sure you have cone floors. And like if the mechanic is tricky, again, just simply just practice it. Like just come out, right? Like, okay, all right, here we go, out. Okay, here we go, out. Like I don't know if you have this down in your own build routine, or like build.
Yeah, to an extent I do, but like it's not exactly as that. It's just more of a tarp type situation.
I would say when you're just making like a straight line tarp, kind of practicing this, try to think about having your build in a routine. So it's like, it looks something like this, right? Where you come up, like you're seeing how I come out, I start. It's like the same thing every time. It's like, obviously I'm rusty, but same thing every time. I know I'm not blocking the right, but if I wanted to, I could. But instead of doing things like where you're coming out here, all right, this time, and then I'm here this time, and then I can't even make myself do it. And then I'm here this time, and then now I'm here this time. It's like, it looks the same every time. Like, boom, 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 every time. It's the same. It's like a little routine. It's like just a habit to build. It's very simple. But doing that like will help it. So like now you come out of the box there, right? The stairs on your back, right? You come out the box and boom, right? You see how like that is like boom, and like, oh, he got the wall on the right, but no worries, because my routine is so quick and easy. I have both of these, so I have full control, and I can also just flip it, come here, come back, and again, right? Because you practice it, you're gonna come out with the same routine. You see how I didn't even mention it? I just did it. Like, stare on my back, come out, right? Start from the left, go down to the right. Like, and it can be the other way. I don't know if necessarily. I don't know if there's a reason why I go to the left or not. It's just something that I've just like done over my career, but yeah. So like having that like, huh?
It's worked for you, so you know.
Yeah, no. But yeah, having that like build routine where you can just come out left, cones, floors, and you just hit it a little like solo tarp. Would save you a lot here. Like this would make you live a bunch more.
How have you won that? How am I that bad?
So again, here's another opportunity that like you can
How am I that
take a
bad?
cone trick that I'm going to teach you here.
I'll look.
Super simple. It's just like that cone under the floor that I taught you. It's like, I know you accidentally mantled, which is unfortunate. Like that happens to the best of us. But it's like understanding that you can place cones over walls like this, and also the trick of just the general idea of that you can put a cone on yourself and still cone out, right? So we learned that we can do that from the standing position. We can do this from this position, which is really important, right? When you're like coming towards somebody, always cone out, right? But doing that from a standing position and just knowing, oh, I cone myself, no big deal. And like taking advantage of like, oh, I cone myself, that means I can, because you have that second delay, right? Like where, let's see, set it up again. So cone myself, you see how like I place these 3 cones before the next one placed, because it's breaking, right? It's in the breaking animation. You can't place it while it's breaking. So here would be a great example of like how beneficial it would be to learn the mechanic of cones over walls. And like, again, you can literally just come into creative, practice this yourself, set it up here, run back down, grapple down, come over here and be like, okay, brick cones, boom, 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 boom. You can toss in a jump, you know, whatever you want to do, right? And just practicing that and just understand that you can go and do a build fight like this. Oh, I mantled, but where you can kind of throw, wow, I'm mantling a lot. You can throw cones over the tops and just like, you could infinitely go up on that guy and just, right? I'm not even placing the stair yet, right? You see it's cone before stairs. So I can create this gap space in between. Is really like a huge opportunity to.
Yeah, I definitely don't use cones anywhere near enough.
I picked up twice and I still lose.
Like ever at all.
Yeah. So
Wow.
there's a little techniques. Let's see. All right, peek. That was a rusty peek, but you got out of the box, which is huge. And there you like almost died making that peek. And then you just had your wall. It's just awareness. And the awareness thing, I think you asked about like how do I know he has my wall, or like that's just like
Oh, it's more the fact that I think I've got the wall when I haven't. You know, it's more when I'm building up as opposed to like I can tell when he's got my wall when he's fighting me in front of a box sort of thing. But it's
No, I
more
get
when
it.
I'm building up sort of thing. And I think that's my wall. It's not. Oh,
I get
have
it,
I
I
not
get
got
it.
that wall?
I think that like I know exactly what you're talking about because I used to experience this like years ago where I'm like, wait a minute, like how's that his wall? Like I just placed that. Like it looks like I just placed it, or like on my screen it placed. It's like the best way I can explain to like learn the wall taking is like it's like the feel of it. Like you'll just know, right? Like if the guy is like here, like the position of the player and like how how is he fighting you? I don't know how to explain it. There's no wall checking your wall technique that can be like just look at the wall and like look to see if it's yours on edit. Like that's you're not gonna be able to do that quick enough. Like you're not gonna be able to go edit. Okay, these are my walls. It's like it's like the feel, and that just comes from just mechanics and just more practice and more fighting and just getting into it. Another thing you can do to like I guess evaluate yourself and be like, okay, how much a piece am I really getting on my opponent? Like how much a piece is he getting on me? Is just simply one of you guys uses wood, one of you guys uses brick, and you just want to 1v1 each other and be like, I got your wall. Like you'll know instantly. It's like that will show you kind of like your progression of like, oh wait, I am actually able to, like I am getting good piece and I'm getting cones over them.
What's good, Jasper?
Why am I level?
I think if I can tighten my like crosshair in building as well, like it'll make it a lot easier. If I can control my movement more as well, I'll be able to do that sort of stuff. But it's more, I think because I'm so all over the place.
I feel you. No, definitely.
I don't know what I'm
a great
placing and what I'm not
analysis.
placing.
Yeah, no, that's a great analysis. I think that's exactly a big reason why it's so difficult. And the best way I can explain it is, or the best way I can explain to improve on this would be going to a mechanics. I'll show you the map, but after this. But
Is it Raiders?
yeah, there's a Raider. It's a Raiders map. So going to a Raiders map and just playing on like a 0.7 or 0.6 speed, so you're like moving super slow, and you'll just be able to like make really controlled edits because your edit speed is the same. Like you can be moving like 0.1 speed and you can still make like a billion edits a second. So, but moving really really slow in your edits and making sure it's like boom boom. It's like you're hitting that like in between tile perfectly, like right here, right? And you're not hitting like you're not going like this or this. It's like boom.
Yeah. But to be fair, I've been doing that. I had another coach at the time. It was I don't know if you had a T-Church.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he was he taught me to do that sort of stuff. I did that with my edits. It's more my build movement. But as you can see, like when I'm building upwards, I'm throwing my whole body around and like whacking high walls up, and like there's no control in my player movement at all. So I don't know where these builds are placed in. I think I know where I want to place them. That's why I'm surprised I didn't get the build. But I think because my crosshair placement when I'm building is so bad, I struggle to actually place those builds.
I think that just comes with time, man. I think that like simply practicing these routines on your own, like how I'm doing right now, I was just like I also didn't start playing the game doing edits like this, right? I started the game doing edits like this, and I would make my wallets and I would do this, and I would do this, or I would like get stuck on my wall and I'd go like that. Like I don't know, like it's just time building. Like there wasn't necessarily one big thing that I played to improve my crosshair placement and building. It's just time doing the routines. Like the more you can do this every time, right? Like oh my gosh, the more you can do these Wi-Fi cones every time, and you can come around and do like a tricky high wall. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. But if I can get these sort of things, obviously this information. Obviously, I play every day. Like I'm playing as much as I possibly can, and I've got to the point where I'm not improving, and I'm kind of, if anything, getting worse. So I need to learn, like, obviously these things that you're teaching me, so I can run the right things in creative, doing the right things. Instead of just aimlessly building for no reason. It's.
Yep. I think like the big things would be the Thwifo cone, the high wall, and when you're watching me do these, you're watching how I'm doing. I'm coming around here. Like you can come around here and look and see, and then you can come up here and you see my high wall is like looks like something like that. It's like, it's not, because I when I remember first doing high walls for the first time like years ago, it looked very similar to you. I was like, it's like what, like it's not placing, and then or I would try to go for like a high wall from like down here. I'm like, it's not placing.
It's shaking the camera, and it's the shake of the camera.
Yeah. So it's like it just looks something like that. You're just coming up. It's all about like what makes it so easy is the movement. So I'm like bouncing, and I'm kind of jumping backwards like into my thing. So I'm like coming up, coming up, I'm bouncing backwards into it, and that's really it. So yeah, learning things like that, and then of course like the Zone Wars retake where you're doing things like this, and then of course 90s, throwing those into your thing. Like, dude, you get these few things down, and then like later on going into getting the like this down where you're able to do this fluently and like do diagonal jumps, like those things. Like I'm telling you, those like will make your smoothness, will make your like you get those characteristics down, those build patterns down. Like it will make everything feel way more smooth, because when you're stuck on a wall here, you know what your brain's gonna shift to. It's gonna be like, oh, I'm stuck. What can I do? Okay, the keys is above me. I'm just gonna do Thrive cones. I'm gonna do the high walls. Like, I'm gonna do high walls with the cone right there. Like, it's you can easily switch to it, and you're already doing that with what you have. Like, you're doing like, oh, he's below me. Double edit. Like your brain is like already locked on what to do, and that's great. Like, so you're processing things mentally fine. You just need to learn the little routines and the little creative build patterns.
I think the peak's still an issue as well. Like, obviously, when you do the double edit down, I think I'm over peaking when I do that sort of thing, and it's I'm not thinking about trading. I'm thinking about me doing damage, and I don't really care what he's doing. Do you know what I mean? It's like I think the wrong way in a way.
100%. Yeah, and we'll go into the peaks.
Yeah, but it does it again next time you come in as well.
Also, one thing that I've been like taught and learned over time is just learning. Like I've already mentioned this, but learning, just learning like build patterns or doing things in a row. Like I'm seeing you do this, and like you're getting stuck on the like doing something like this. Like this is what you wanted to do. It's just like do this in a row. How many times can you do this exact like? But you're getting all the piece, right? How many times can you do this exact movement? And then like one of the things I kind of low key still struggle with because I just haven't done it in so long is the stair flip. Right? Come here, boom. It's like that. Like how many times can I do stair flip with cones, walls, and like do the flow, do it every time. Like be super critical on yourself of like, okay, boom here, wall. Oh, I put a stair wrong. Like it has to be cone with 2 walls and a cone floor here, and then a stair again. Like so, learning like challenging yourself to do certain routines like that, and you can make them up on your own. Like that one I just made up is like you could do okay, flip the stair, come up, high wall, double edit, look back here, look back, flip again, and I'm up. Like do that. If you can do that every time, again, it just adds to your arsenal of build patterns that you can do.
Yeah, I got you. That makes sense.
I'm on 1 health.
And then always dropping on the wall with no damage to the wall is not great. So it should more so look something like, let's say he's here, boxed up, and you're the brick. You're gonna jump on the wall, either play like back a bit or like jump like this. And while you're spraying, or maybe it looks like this, and I pickaxe the cone, but you pickaxe the wall while you're dropping, and then now the wall's 1, and if he edits, like, while he's taking that edit, while he's in here trying to do this, you're gonna see the blueprint, and you just smack it once because it's 1 HP, you grab it while he's editing, and that's where a lot of the easy kills come from. Never, ever, ever drop on a wall while it's not damaged. Like, you have to do some form of this, or like some form where you're shooting it before you jump to it, or like that, right? Like to get the right timing down, and those simply just take time and just a quick patience understanding of like, okay, smack the wall first. Or like, again, if you are ever going to stop on a wall, like there might be times where, again, you might see your top pro, the best fighter in the game, he literally might just do this, right? He might just come on the wall. I even just did it myself. He might just come on the wall, no pickaxe. I just jump down here, boom, and then pickaxe, right? Like you might see that happen. And that's like, they're ready to do a lot of things. They're ready to build cones above their heads, edit up. I know some really top level pros are able to do like this really quickly and just jump into their cone. Right, that's like not a bad move to do if you can be really quick with it. And again, most importantly, they're ready to do this. Like they're ready to make sure they're gonna piece themselves up. Like a lot of times you'll see someone boxed up and like a really good fighter will go on their wall with no damage, and they're here, and they're gonna play off the cone bait. Like they're gonna make him shoot, switch here, boom, like pump, or they're gonna come here and like play off of the cone not being there or being there. What am I saying? So. Yeah, just never drop on a wall without getting damaged. There you go. You slide it. That's great. Like sliding the stair through or cone through is really, really good to practice. Like it seems like you have that mechanic down, but making sure that you have it covered on all bases where you can do cones and stairs is really huge.
The issue I have with that is the fact that 1, I'm not quick enough to get the exit piece, but 2 or 3, I'm not able to position myself to get the exit piece well enough. I when I get that staircase in there, I throw myself into his wall to try and place the staircase, as opposed to, thinking of what like you see me that I jump into his wall with the staircase.
I see. So I think that's just practice. Like you just need to go into a map. I'm gonna boot up Raiders map for you. You just need to go into a map and just simply practice sliding a cone through the wall from any distance, or stair through the wall from any distance. The maps that I'm referencing, the 2 maps that I'm referencing would be the V4 and the V3. These
I got
two,
those.
like this, I don't want this to sound like cliche or like there's no way it's too good to be true, but like I promise you every pro player is playing this map. Like every top fighter got to the point where they are from playing a map like this, a mechanics training map like this. I'm
Is
telling you,
V3 better than V4?
it's preference. So it's like you have a routine at the gym, you like want to change it up because you're bored of the routine, you just like change it up. Like it looks, the map looks different, there's a different build modes, like there's a couple of different piece maps, like it's just different, right? So they're both the same, they both have everything in there. You would assume that like V4 would be better because it has more improvements, but I play a lot of V3 just because, again, it's like change. It's like I just like play a couple hours of V4 and then the next day I'll play a couple hours of V3 and then there you go.
Okay.
Yeah, let me see here. So the number one thing in this map, the most important thing in both of these maps, right? They're both right here. Actually, no, it's here. Peak practice is peak piece control and peak training. Put it to hard. Go. Like if you've probably played this before, it's literally gonna train you to. Huh?
It stressed me out, so I quit.
Yeah. It's like
there's one with, I think there's one with an orb actually. There's an orb instead of a person, but
yeah,
that's the V4 one.
Yeah. So he's gonna hit you. Any peak you take, you'll know right away. Like, oh, that was a bad peak. And it's great because you're not punishing yourself against an actual player or in a tournament. It's against a bot, and you can do this infinitely. And that's like, this will really help level up your gameplay a ton right here. The mechanics wise and smoothness, this is all smoothness. Like this is the best way to describe it. It's like you want to get better at those build routines, right? Like those build, what was the word I was using earlier? Like, the build patterns.
Yeah, patterns. Yeah.
Let's do these. It's like, I know you know, like you've seen this, but I'm telling you, like this is a great way to improve your mechanics.
Okay.
And then let me think. There's one more thing. Actually, I think that might have been it. And then oh yeah, here we go. So you can do like the cone thing instead of having to run on the wall. This is an infinite way to practice like the cone thing. It'll reset. Boom. Come over here. Boom. Whatever edit you want to do. Like you're just practicing sliding a cone or a stair through the wall. And then you can also like do one of these where you're sliding it through. Right. Boom. Pre-piece. You know, and then you can fight again. Of course, he's not going to run out, but like that's what you would do. That's a habit you'd want in like an end game.
Yeah.
Like I'm setting up the fight right now. Okay, I'm here. Okay, cone through. I missed it. Pump. Okay, pre-piece. Like, or maybe I come back around here since he's on the left side of the box. Like he's probably gonna end up running out this way if he's real. Boom, dead. Like so. Practicing that, setting up the fight, going through, or stair, right? Pre-piece, and just being able to do those quickly will be huge. And then here, another opportunity that you had, a missed opportunity you had was, let's see. So you have the stair. This is simply just like you have it. You know he's running out. You're following him
Should
to
I
the right.
put top? Should I put cone and floor on top
Yeah,
of his head?
yeah,
That's my-
100%. Yeah. So like you see him. Let me just kill this bot. So let's see. You see him. Let's do the same thing. So you're here. Right. You see him. You put the cone through. He's running out. You're watching him run out. You just do this. Even if you don't get these walls, you just do this, and then you can hit it like that, and then boom, like he's running right into your crosshair. Here.
Yeah, I think I boxed myself before I boxed him.
Yeah. Yeah, like just slide cones out. And then here again, like I just want you to get in the habit of like always like right here, like even though he's not in the box, you're not going to fight this guy, he's running away from the box, still put a cone through. Like it's not hard to just, it's an extra like nothing. It literally takes nothing extra to put the cone through. Like he's not even in the box, but you're going to still put that control down. You're not fluent.
I'm not planning things. I'm just reacting to things. I guess is my best way of describing it. There's no control in what I'm doing. It's all reaction. Yeah.
You're just not fluent in doing these things, so you can't execute them.
No.
Like because I get it as well. Like there's things that I can't do, like super fluently that I'm still practicing that like I can't do them in game, or I don't take advantage of them because I can't do them efficiently. So it's like same thing for you. Like you can't efficiently like put a cone through and then come out here and do this, right?
Yeah.
And that all that means is you have to practice it. So literally just hop into a free build world and just practice doing this 100 times. Like coming here, you're just tarping essentially. You're tarping, cones out, tarping, cones out. Another thing you can practice is you're just running in a flat line, double edit down, reset, like double edit down. Maybe it means you have the wall. You know what I'm saying? You would, when you double edit somebody like this, you box them, you're probably gonna want to put a wall anyways, right? So practicing
Also,
that.
on the double edit front, when I double edit down, I don't know why it is, but I struggle with the floor. Like it's weird. Like it's like it catches like that. Like it's sort of like, you know, I don't know if I'm doing something wrong or what, but
Yeah, it's edit timing. No, exactly. So this is a great way to do it. This or edit courses, like don't play these. These are very useless. This or edit courses where you can, I mean, edit course is edit course. You're just running through it and, you know, you're doing 100 things at once in this and then here and then edit up. Like, but the edit timing is something I've played a ton of where it's very boring, but you're just literally just, it feels like you're not doing literally anything.
Yeah, yeah. That's what I was, when I was doing it, I was like, am I missing them? I can't tell.
No, yeah. No, it's like, trust me, dude. I vividly remember doing this. I'm like, I was sitting there like this, where I was literally, I'm not even editing, by the way. I was literally just doing this. Like, I'm actually getting stuck, like, on the edits. Like, my timing was that bad. But it's just like, and you could also do in like patterns like that too. Right?
I looked up and got claustrophobic as well. I didn't realize how high it was, and I was like, oh my god, I'm claustrophobic. I'm stoked.
No, but I would recommend doing them like in patterns of two, right? That's like the most realistic example of like, right? Boom, 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 boom. And so, like, again, you can do that. That's a great way to do it. Or you can simply just come into creative and just do what I'm doing here. It's like more realistic with actual patterns, right?
Yeah. You're doing it now.
Yeah, no, I'm getting stuck on it. It's edit timing.
I'm giving you my illness.
Yeah, no, it's edit timing. So that's all it is. They're really simple fixes. What was I gonna say here?
It's like I don't even know what I'm doing right now. I'm all over the place.
Yeah, so I mean,
take damage.
this is literally as simple as like the same thing I'm seeing here is the same exact thing that I'm seeing here when you were doing this. Remember when he was like on your wall here and you had this edit and you ran out, right? And you went like this. And I forget exactly what you did after this, but he like killed you or something. He got your top. I don't know. But like remember, it's like when you're coming out, it's this, right? It's like obviously there I put the wall because I know he's there, right? So it's here. It's like it's this. Like you need to get this down so that way whenever you're stuck in a box like this, you're like, oh shit, I gotta run out. It's like even if it's this way, it's this, right? Like you're always gonna get these two first. Boom, boom. Because again, like the control of having the cone floor on both sides is way better than having all the walls. And so you have the cone floor there, but I'm telling you, like this scenario in an example is simply just practicing doing something like this, where you're coming up and you're spinning around and you're hitting all the walls, right? And you're just doing this infinitely. And like maybe it seems hard to do it first, but it's really just a simple build pattern. It's the same thing you do here when you do this. This is the same. It's just a build pattern. You're like they're timing for the cone and the way you look for the walls and spin around. It's the same thing you're doing when you come up in the box here. Just edit, jump, spin, edit, and you can go on like that slow-mo mode, right? Where you can slow yourself down, slow it down, and hit it and go. So that, and then here, just a quick reflex and like something you can do here is he's gonna do an edit like this, or like understanding like void space. I guess would be the best way to explain it. Is like the guy you're fighting, right? Let's say you're fighting this guy right here, right? You're on his wall. Void space, like, or empty space. I don't know what the right word would be. Was no cone, no stair, right? So boom, dead, right? Here, like the void space, like, I mean, you can see this is open. Like, so if he makes that edit, like 100%, and I'm saying this, like, I do this a ton, like, because not every pro, like, you're not fighting Peterbot or like these top tier, like these really top tier fighters will literally like there is no void space. Any void space is like a bait, like it's a trap. It's like, you know, you would try to put a cone there and he would, let's say like he would edit the wall like this. He'd edit the wall on you and you'd be like, oh, let me just, you know, stick a cone here. And he would flip his stair and come in and pump you. Like, it's like those, when you're fighting really, really good players, it's hard, very hard to like take advantage of it. But 99% of the players you're going to fight are going to like let you have void space unintentionally. Even myself, when I'm fighting people, it's like, so when you see that edit, somebody's going to do that. He's got your wall here. Just slide the cone floor. Like he edits the wall here. Boom.
Yeah. Right
here it is. Like you see the void space right here, right? You see it. You know he's there. You can hear he's going to the top. You can probably even see him. He's at the top, right? You're there. Like you're pulling up towards him before he even makes the edit. So if the void space is there, you put something through it.
No, man. Yeah, I guess in the moment there, like I'm just not seeing that potential. I'm just seeing get my gun out and shoot him.
Yeah.
So,
I hate this shot.
Here's another void space. If he edits this like this,
I think I staircase him actually.
Nice. Okay. Oh,
I'll try
almost.
to.
Yeah. But yeah, if he edits like that, that's perfect. Here again, nice, like perfect. So you understand void space then, like you get it. Here's make sure you're making the right peak.
I'll try to get the box and miss.
Yep. All right, bad peak. Like any better player would hit you there. reset, edit, pump, reset, edit, pump, reset, edit. Like that has to be drilled in your mind. Like if you're fighting somebody, okay, boom, oh, edit, pump, reset, edit. Has to be.
Okay.
So that is the entire clip thing. I mean, do you have any questions? We still have a lot of time, but I do want to go over the things that I wrote down in my notes of crosshair placement and building, and then peak training. I kind of mentioned it as we were talking, but obviously peak training is here, and it's on both these maps. I would definitely recommend. I know like they have peak practice and the peak training and piece control and peak training. What am I saying? So it's like what you mentioned, like the little orb. These are great to practice because it's like you're doing the tunnels, you're doing this with this, so it's a great like combination.
The orb was stressing me out. I can't lie.
Huh?
I was like, the orb was stressing me out. I can't lie. I did it for half an hour and I couldn't work out what I was doing wrong.
No, the orb is very small. Is that what you're talking about? How like little it can be?
I think it's more the fact that like I feel like I'm doing a good peak, but it's not. But my movement's like restricting me from doing what I need to be doing. Like, I don't know if I hold W key too much or if I don't use my arrow keys too enough. Like I don't know what I'm doing wrong.
No, 100%. I think one thing that I actually struggle with a bit is when I'm doing like those edit tunnels or piece maps, or like where I'm coming through here, is like I struggle to stop holding W. Like I'll like I'm moving and I'm trying to like move in such a fast speed. Like even there, like you're seeing how I'm clipping this. Like if I just simply instead of doing this, I just kind of stop moving a little bit, or like maybe held D or S a bit more and controlled my character and thinking. I've been recently like I have actually been thinking about like right there. Like I stopped holding W and I literally let go for a second. Like I jumped, let go, right? Jump up, let go, and I can still make the jump, but you're not moving as like fast. So doing that, like getting that slight like tricky finger routine, jump up, let go, right? Like now it makes it way smoother than what we just saw like what 2 to 3 times of that ago. So like understanding that, like that plays a big part. I think also settings play a big part. I don't want to have to go through like all of your settings. I think
I think I've got the best I can. I mean, I've got a dual PC, so I'm playing. My stream's not impacting my PC. I've got decent peripherals and stuff like that. Everything's good. But it's I mean, I've got the same as you, pretty much view distance on 5. Everything else on low.
The one thing I can say that I've seen somebody have on is like the edit. What is it at? The edit sensitivity, like making sure like this is at 100 and not like some flared like 125 or 137. It's like keep it the same.
No, that is yeah.
And then also try your best to keep these like very close or the same. Like I would recommend just 7-7 or 6-6-5-5 10-10 like. And then if you want to, these can be similar, but I always try to do increments, right? Like if I'm like, oh, my sense is really low on scoped, I'm gonna up it to like 35 or 45 or 55, or maybe like I'm gonna keep it incrementally around the same, not like 26.7, because it's just like muscle memory and those things play a big part in overall like crosshair placement and build placement. That's why I wanted to go over like sensitivity and stuff like that. But overall, I think this, both these. Peak training will improve over just time practicing this, and like I can't stress this enough. Like this is the best thing to practice in creative. Like peak training is the best thing to practice, like 100% hands down. Okay. The next thing is cross replacement.
I've got a really bot question. So when you're like, say you're doing triple edits or like you double edits and stuff like that, I feel like sometimes my edits aren't as responsive as I want them to be.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's when you're editing. Like I don't know if you slow it down. Are you holding your piece out that you're building editing at the same time? Like so if you're editing your floor, you're holding your floor out at the same time.
I get you.
Because I feel like I don't do that, but when I do that with my wall, for example, like it's much more responsive. So I don't know if people do that naturally, and I don't.
I mean, I can sit here and do like right now I'm pulling my pickaxe out every time. Like it's not pretty, but
yeah, I don't do that.
Well, I'm showing you that like I can still make the same or very similar edits by like pulling out my pickaxe every time. But no, 100%. Like for me, I don't personally sit there and realize like, okay, I have my cone out now. Like I think for the most part, I have my floor out. Like I'm just looking at my floor. It's like mostly like as you can see, the build pattern I'm placing cone floor. So it's like that means that my floor would be out, which means I have longer range on my floor. Like I can hit it from maybe like down here, right? Versus if I don't have my floor out, it's a little bit more tricky. So like those things do play a factor, and everyone has a little bit different like build styles. Like you might put the floor first. You might put cone floor, and like that's fine too. Or you might put the wall first. I don't know. Like, but so yeah, 100%. Like, I think if you were trying to be like peak, and I couldn't even speak for if like the top fighters do this. I think that there's a certain level of speed that they defaultly have just from the amount of practice they put in. That like they don't even need to worry about like having X piece out. Like again, they could I could get fully pieced by Peterbot or Vino or these top fighters by just having them pull the pickaxe out every time, like, which means they wouldn't have the piece, right? Like they're still just as good killing me and doing crazy mechanic routines by just having their pickaxe out. So
Yeah.
but yeah, I guess it does matter a little bit. It does matter, especially for these, like, this is like, you want to have that cone out. You can't just have the cone out and switch to your pump and still get it out. The same thing. You have to have that cone to get that extra reach.
Yeah.
But no, peak crosshair placement and building is literally just gonna be coming off of those build routines, and like putting yourself on a lower speed and just coming here and slowing it down and practicing these mundane build things. Like, just how many times can you do this in a row? Yeah, and then I know you mentioned something like in DMs before this about like creating a routine. Do you want to go over that really quickly?
Yeah, so I mean, I load into well, basically my days that I get back from work. I've got a set amount of time to like warm up.
Yeah.
Before I do my things, and then yeah, so I have like 15-20 minute warm up sort of thing, and it's usually I just crank a free build, and I might do like a speed realistics or whatever, and then I get into game. But I always feel just like I don't expect to feel fully warmed up, but I just feel like
I get you.
I lose to a lot of these kids that are just like, I know I'm definitely better than them, but I'm just not doing the right things, and I'm not controlling my movement, I'm not controlling my crosshairs, I'm not controlling X, Y, and Z. I'm kind of all over the place. Yeah, so
I get you.
I ideally want to tidy myself up and be like more more clean and more fluent with it. Fluid with it. Sorry. Yeah.
I will say that's something that I struggle with, but that's mostly because I'm streaming and trying to create some content, and doing mechanics routines for hours a day is just not content. Like, no one's trying to watch me.
That's why. Yeah, it's my problem. Yeah.
But I would try, like, genuinely sit down and be like, all right, I'm not even gonna play ranked today. Like, ranked, genuinely, like, if you haven't heard this, it's useless. Like, it is very, you're getting nothing, like almost nothing out of ranked. It's like, number one, the rank to queue for tournaments is so low that it doesn't even mean that you have to be a certain rank. Two, everybody gets Unreal, so like there's no benefit or reward. There's no flexing. It's just everyone gets it. There's like 200,000 people that had it on last season. It's like very simple, and it gets easier and easier as the season goes on. So it's really a time pit. Like, you're just dumping more time into. The only thing that I would say ranked will help you with is learning like your spot. Like, you have to actually get into real game situations and scenarios to learn like how your POI works, or like best mats to farm or things like that. And so like that's what you have to do in ranked. And so I would always.
The thing is, sorry, I'm good at that sort of thing. That's the strong side I have. Like, I feel like I'm really good at that sort of like planning drops, planning drop maps, all that sort of stuff. I'm pretty good at. It's the actual mechanics of the game that I really struggle with. It's like I'm letting down my duo all the time. When people are watching me play, like it's like it's like watching the lobby screen all the time. Yeah, because I'm constantly dying. It's like it's just So I'm trying to.
Then I would say like don't even. I really wouldn't even recommend you playing ranked. Like, I promise you, like very casually you can play ranked, but it's nothing. Like, I promise you, if you're trying to focus on your mechanics, and I am the same way. Like, personally, I am I'm you, but better in a respectful way. I'm not a crazy fighter. I'm not some S tier fighter, but I have a very good understanding, and I've worked with a bunch of fighting coaches, and I obviously I have their feedback, and I'm a quick learner, so I understand what I need to do. It's just me personally, I find doing mechanic things a little bit mundane, and like I mentioned, like on stream, like nobody wants to watch me, especially like it's hard. It's hard when you aren't great at something to attract an audience, watch you be not great at something, unless you're funny. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I'm great at ranked, or my brain in ranked is like fun to watch, I suppose. I don't know if that's how I would describe it, but but it's better to watch me play ranked than to watch me do a mechanic routine. You'd rather watch like Peterbot do his mechanic routine. I would rather watch Peterbot do his mechanic routine than my own mechanic routine. It's more enjoyable to watch somebody that's like good at it to do it. But that is like that is Fortnite. Like, I have to do it. I genuinely have to sit here and make myself play 40 minutes of this and 40 minutes of this and Kovacs for an hour and a half, and like that's it. Like, if that's my 4-hour time slot for the day, like that's what I have to do, because like rapid improvement, it is very, very quick. Like, I've heard this from all types of really mechanical players of like, dude, mechanics are the easiest thing to learn. And I'm like, no, they're not. Or like, I'm just like, they are easy to learn, but they're very boring. And it's like, for me, they're very boring. And so I'm like, I always tell them like, dude, using your brain and like being smart in the game is easy to like, it's easy to improve and like learn and have game sense. And they're like, all the fraggers and the mechanical players like, no, it's not. It's like, that's what I struggle with. It's like, so everyone has their own like struggle and their own strengths, but I promise you, it is really easy. Like I've put a lot of time into my mechanics over the last few months, and I've definitely seen improvement. And I'm doing the same thing I'm recommending you to do is the same thing that I'm doing, and this is what I've been recommended, and this is what I've obviously seen other pros and my other fragger teammates that I've had over the time. I've played with some really great players, and they do the exact same thing, and I'm in a way following in their footsteps. And
I mean,
yeah.
Yeah, I get you to an extent. Obviously, like I mean, the issue I have, I guess, is when I do these sort of things. Obviously, I've watched endless Ken Bean videos and stuff. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's I've been through that whole like YouTube conundrum thing of like play Raiders.
Gotcha.
So I did go for a period of playing Raiders, but it was, I don't know if it's again. I can do the tunnels, great, but it's like, am I doing them correctly? Am I doing them the way I should be doing them? And am I doing them like, is my movement still really bad? Like, that's my problem, is the fact that what should I be focusing on when I do these tunnels? It should be, how should I be approaching it? Because again, like my movement is really bad. So like if I'm doing the bad movement in a tunnel.
Yeah. So no, I get you. So like we'll go over this. So like it's all about what we just talked about in this lesson of like placing things through the walls, right? So as you can see there, I jump on the wall as soon as I multiple things I did right there, right? I'm hitting the wall before I'm jumping, right? Instead of coming down here and hitting it, right? Like we mentioned, and I'm also falling into it while grabbing the wall while placing 2 cones through. It's like that is what we practiced or what we talked about. We're like, you're doing this now. You're gonna do that. Yeah. So what I did is that exact thing. I just slide the things through, and then so you can do that. Like I remember when I was doing these for the first time, or like, for the first time, I was also in the same boat of like, okay, cool, like, okay, cool.
That's literally what I do.
Yeah, it's like, okay, cool. It's like, no, you have to just challenge yourself to do things that you wouldn't normally do. So it's like I mentioned, you come down here and I missed, I hit the wall, but slide a cone through. Or maybe, the next time, you don't have to do that every time. Like you can do this, let's say you do this scenario 5 times, and every time you're just doing this. And this is what I did. I remember doing this, like sliding here, and I'd go, and I would literally just play for this, because it's like realistic and you're on different angles, right? Like there I'm on a stair, and the other time I'm, coming from above. Right, so you're changing your angles. So you do that 5 times. Then this time, now you're gonna slide something through the wall, and you're gonna grab the wall at the same time. I missed it there, but let's say like slide something through the wall, right? So there, I slid a wall through and then grab the wall. And like, yeah, the player might not, like the mechanic you're practicing is if there's a slot open, right? You smack the wall and put something through. It's like the same thing with a stair. So there, I'm doing it here, right? I put a wall through. Like I tried looking down, but it didn't place. But here, put a wall through. So that, and then you can practice. You can do that 100 times until you get it down, and then next time, now you can do, like, get the wall, window piece on the right side, get the wall, right? I do a lot of this myself. Like currently, I'm always like switching between doing stairs or cones, right? So now I'm doing cones, right? So everything I do is cones, and then we'll come back and we'll do just stairs. And it's like double edits with stairs. So now I'm here, now I'm doing stairs. So it's like there's no right or wrong way to play this. There's no like, but it's just about challenging yourself and doing what's hard for you. And that is Fortnite in a nutshell. Like that is why you're going to be getting a lot better if you're going against better players. You're going to be getting a lot better if you're actually challenging yourself. Like this, what I'm doing, I could do this and not challenge myself at all. I'm not improving from this, right? This is no improvement is being gained. This is a waste. So challenge yourself, and like it's supposed to be hard. It's supposed to be annoying. It's supposed to be a struggle. Yeah. So. Okay. I would just say like I can't sit here and be like, this is what you need to do. I mean, what I explained is exactly what you should do. Just come in here and be like, oh, next one. All right, here I'm gonna do the wall slide this time. I'm gonna go up here. I'm gonna do only stairs now. So here, all right, grab the wall. You don't have to even get those, but I just put a cone. Stair again. Okay, I'm gonna grab this wall, but let me think about the peak I'm gonna take. Okay, boom. This is what I would want to do in game, right? That's literally what you would want to do in a game situation. Now you can reset, boom, double, right? Instead of like running through the motion of just like here, like so. Think about how you want to place your builds, and also think about the peaks you're taking, because those play a part in making a good mechanic, right? Or growing your mechanics. So here I'll do cones. And then, okay, what peak do I want to take? Let me slide the wall through, got the wall. What peak do I want to take here? I could do this, okay, got it, boom, out, right? It's like thinking like things like that just will change and will make you better. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, I guess so. It's just more, yeah. I guess just envisioning it working, because again, like I've been playing this game every day for so long, and I'm just not. Yeah, I'm just.
I don't
know. It just backs me. Okay, I'm one of those people that sort of like, I don't mind doing challenging things. I don't mind putting the time in. It's more, it stresses me out when I don't know what the answer is. And I don't know what the fix is. It's like if someone asks me a question, I don't know what the answer is. I get annoyed. So it's if I care about it, that is. But if it's so stuff like Fortnite, it's like I'm playing really badly, but I can't work out why I'm playing so badly, and it's like it stresses me out.
Okay.
It's like the orb thing. When I'm getting shot by the orb, I'm like, why am I getting shot by the orb? Obviously, I'm not peeking correctly, but like, what am I doing wrong? You know, it's that sort of thing.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just being super like hyper critical of what you're doing, right? Like, they're like, I'm fighting the orbs, or I'm doing this routine, but I'm making sure every peek I take is like, I'm not doing this, I'm not doing this. You know, I'm thinking about like, this is a real player, so I'm gonna come here, box them, take the right peek. Oh, I missed it. Okay, come here, boom. Oh, I missed it again. Come here, boom. Like, you know, it's like, so being like, you're just putting more thought. Like, oh, okay, that would have hit me, so you know, don't do that. Come here, maybe next time, or maybe you know, maybe you piece it from here. Boom. Oh, I missed. Yeah, I think like when you're doing these tunnels, you just have to change it up and force yourself to do different things. Like I mentioned, only stairs, only cones, only window edits, only peanut butter peaks. Only, you know, sliding the walls through, or sliding the stairs through, or just grabbing it from above, or simply maybe it means you're just grabbing the wall. Let's see, you're just grabbing the wall and you're I don't know, let's imagine this is the wall, and you're doing like these edits. Like you're just grabbing the wall every time, and you're not sliding anything through, because that might also be something you do in game. Like you don't always have the chance to slide something through, or like you might not always get the chance to slide something through. So you might grab it, come here, boom. Like how fast can you do that? Like every time, okay, instead of sliding, I'm gonna come here, grab the wall, and then put a thing through.
Okay.
Yeah, it's literally just about changing it up. I think I've given you enough things to change it up. I mean, everything that I'm telling you is exactly what I do. So it's like here it's just.
And what in terms of like, sorry, another question before I forget.
You're good.
In terms of fight awareness, like that is really bad for me. Like I have no idea. Like half the time when I'm fighting my duo, I have no idea where the other people players are. I mean, I'm all over the place. Again, that's my movement and my erratic sort of like, you know, crosshair placement and stuff like that. I just lose track of everybody. It's
I think that comes with like, right? So that happens to me a couple times. I can relate to that a little bit, like in the current player that I am. But I think that just comes down to like, oh, I can't find the players. Okay, I'm just gonna do what I know is comfortable. Like this, even if I can't find the player, can't find my teammate, I'm finding my teammate by doing this. You know what I'm saying? Like, does that make sense? Like, so it's like you need to be comfortable in your builds. Of course, it's gonna be uncomfortable. Like, you're gonna be getting shot and spraying. Like, okay, where are you? Where are you? Like, I don't know. I'm on height. Okay, but where? Like, you know, I can't. There's layers. So it's just like, okay, well, C said that I should just do what's comfortable for me, and I'll just come up. And now I'm up. All right, I'm here. Right? Like, so I don't do some flashy thing where I'm like, all right, I don't know where you are. I'm coming up, and I'm gonna come up like this and hit a triple edit like this mid fight. Like, it's like you don't need to have. It's not hard to have good awareness. It's all about your builds being fluent. Does that make sense?
have you got a way of like, you know, tracking opponents? Like, have you got like a method in mind of when you sort of like, you know, when you're fighting, say like a 1v1, or like you're fighting someone in game? Like, how are you keeping track of like, you know, them? Is there like a certain method to it, or is it more just?
Yeah, there's some stuff I can explain. So,
sorry, I'm running over time.
yeah, no, you're good. Don't worry about it. So one thing that I do, like everything that goes into my retakes and how I fight, is I'm always doing things that are keeping me looking back at the opponent. And so like things like, example, this, the white foot cone is, I'm looking back at the opponent. Like imagine the opponent is this white thing, right? I'm looking back at the opponent. So like I'm like constantly looking at the visual footsteps as I'm looking back. I'm listening to the audio cues. I'm also like looking at the player, whether his ramps are here, or if it's here, or if it's down there. You know, if it's down, then I'll obviously go up. So it's like,
so you're using that protection to block yourself off, but also to give yourself a chance to
exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. So I'm looking back at the opponent. Here is one thing. Now I'm doing a high wall. That's also looking back at the opponent. Here I'm doing this like diagonal thing where I can take my time and listen to the opponent, or like, you know, by safely going up quickly. Also, this just in general, like doing these side jumps diagonal, or it's just like the fastest way of going up. And like, if you can just knock out these. Oh, I just messed up.
That.
Yeah.
So again, I've been practicing my side jumps, because again, it's something that I've like, you know, never really put time into, and I've realized how bad I am at them. That one where you put the wall to protect yourself through the cone.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I do there. So I always put the low wall down there by accident. Is there like should I be looking at a certain place of the cone to place that?
Yeah, I'll quickly explain it. So it's crosshair placement, right? It's piece timing, it's cross placement. So what I always teach is find the sweet spot, which if you have my performance mode on, then it's like literally right here at this like gap. So find the sweet spot, and literally I'll like speed run through what I teach. So you find the sweet spot, you don't move, and just simply practice moving D and jump. Like there's no W, there's no A, there's no S. It's D and jump. right? And then get to the sweet spot again. And the reason why I'm telling you to go so like simple and basic is like because now you can hyperanalyze your issues when you are messing up. So like now you can throw in a W and an S and a D and an A. Like you know what I'm saying? Like you can see here I'm moving. I'm not just doing the D. I have to you have to hold W. And so but now I'm like, oh, let's say I do this. Oh, I bonked my head. It's like, okay, let me restart. Like where was the reason? Maybe I was holding W too much, or I was holding, oh, I like hit my head, or I didn't, I did one of these where I'm like missing it. It's like, oh, I wasn't, I held S too much or A. So it's like doing that, and then so it continues. So we got the sweet spot, okay. We've got the D down, like we can just simply every time get in the sweet spot, jump, D, boom, like easy. And now it's all about being controlled in your crosshair placement. So what I've seen a lot of people when I teach this is they go out and they go up and they do something like this, because they're trying to get the cone and everything. So they go down and then back up. So it's not necessarily so you don't have to look so far down and up, right? Like you shouldn't be doing this. It should be the sweet spot of like right here. Like you see how like my crosshair is moving like this maybe. It's very slow. It's like boom, boom. Like
so if I was doing that, I'd be all over the place. Yeah. So
yeah. So it's like, and then for the top. The walls, it's just looking more high instead of like here, right? So like when you do a high wall, right, you have to look high. So it's like it's that. So you're just coming here, looking nice and high, and like that's the tricky part with that is it does actually make your crosshair go up. Like you have to look up, so you have to make those like flicky adjustments real quick. But it's all about the more you do it, the more controlled you're going to be in doing it. And like of course, you're not just doing this only in a fight. You're not just only going to put these walls up. You're going to
be a boring
do a
fight.
lot more than that. Yeah. So.
Okay, so on that, I need to practice those sort of things. That's fine.
Yep.
And overall, will that help improve my sort of placement and my crosshair placement of builds and generally my sort of movement? Will that help?
Yes.
That okay.
Yes, I'm telling. Like you get these routines down where you can Dwight cone, or you can do something like this. I'm messing it up, but you can do this, or you can do the side jump, and this is diagonal jumps is what I call them, just diagonal jumps, right? And then can you do diagonal jump and do a side jump, right? A side jump is actually looking this way, right? Diagonal is literally just you're holding D or you're holding A, and then side jump is actually turning yourself. Does that make sense? Like
so side jump is classed as being backwards, like back facing the cone.
Yeah, exactly. Because I see a lot of people they'll do something like this where they're like that. Like that's just like a diagonal into a 90. Like that just doesn't make any sense. So you should do this, throw up a high wall, boom. Like so diagonal walls 90, right? You see how like simple that is? Like that's maybe a couple, maybe like 150 builds total, right? You can do this in game. You can do this anytime you want in the game. It's quick, it's fast, it's flicky. Like the guy is gonna be like, oh, he's here, okay. Oh, now he's above me. It's like, and then again, you throw on like the simple things of now you're on the 90, right? So now you can do this. You can slide the cone over, or now you're on the 90 and you can do this, right? You see how like you just can combine all these things together. That's smoothness. That's like how you get good crosshair placement and like. In a nutshell, like you just have to be smooth with your builds and like fluent with doing certain maneuvers, and then boom.
Okay, so Raiders tunnels, peak practice, FIFO cone, can't pronounce it. The what's it called? Crossover.
Yeah, I don't know, like the zone wars retake. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, that crossover thing that thing. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. And by the way, all this is recorded and will be uploaded, so you'll be able to like watch this back if you didn't record it, or feel free always to just DM me like, what was this called? Like, can you explain what was this maneuver? Can you show me? I'll literally hop on anytime, like as long as I'm not like mid scrim. I'll record a quick clip, send it to you on Discord, and be like, this is what I mean. Like, what is a crossover? How do you do it? And I'll just go like this and show you.
Yeah.
Right. Or what do you mean by like when I'm tarping out? Like, what's the build routine? Like the pattern when it comes to this. So practicing this as well, I would toss down in your like to do is getting this like flow.
I practice this quite regularly, but my crosshair my placement is not anything like that. So mine's like really erratic. It's kind of like it's
it's tricky. No, it's tricky. Like I'm the same thing that you're.
My issue is, sorry, I think I've just worked it out in my head. I think my issue is that I don't know where the sweet spot is for the builds to be placed. I think you've got the sweet spot down where you know exactly where your crosshair needs to be to place the builds. Where I don't. I just kind of like.
So you could take, like, it's just taking your time and learning it. So like sweet spot for cones is like right above the 150. So like boom. It's like now like I can literally look how micro I can move my mouse.
Yeah.
Barely move it, and I can both like in an instant. I didn't have to move my mouse actually because the cone actually put me up. I don't know if you saw that. Like
oh yeah, bump chop, yeah.
It's like double. So like that is a part of learning. Like it's just learning how the wall's placed. And the same thing when like when you do this, it's like you have to be looking at a certain angle to place both walls. Like you have to be close enough, or like, you know, looking in this like this little quick flick moment here. Like it's not going to be, it's not so much of like that. It's like
That's what I do. Yeah,
but
Exactly what I
it's
do.
simple. Just find the sweet spot. It's like look here, right? Where is the sweet spot? Like if I place, so it's here, right? Or it's like I don't even think it's there. It's not there, but yeah, it's just find the sweet spot. Just take your time and learn like those little things. They will help you a ton.
That's great. Thank you for that.
Of course.
And I'll be giving that a go, I guess. Yeah.
Cool.
No, yeah, is that everything? Is that? I think I ran over
Think so.
time.
No worries. I'm. This is how my sessions go. They normally go an hour to an hour and 20, an hour and 30, like whatever you need to help you. I think we've got everything down though. I don't think like I can.
Well, yeah, I've got a lot to work on, and so I mean, in terms of like, sorry, I got one question. I won't take you too much time. Kovacs. So whenever I use Kovacs, my aim gets tremendously worse.
Really?
So I don't know if that's meant to be happening, or if I'm doing the wrong routines, or if there's any particular routines that you would advise doing, or.
Yep, I can share with you my routines. Let me launch the game real quick. So Kovacs.
Yeah.
Couple things: making sure your settings are right. Like I'm sure you've gone through that, but making sure your settings are right. Making sure you have mouse excel off on your computer, like making sure that's set. I would hope you have that right.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And then like yeah, making sure your settings are all where they want to be. Like you've got DPI, you've got the game, you've got your sensitivity, like you've got all this that matters, and you've got like the lock sensitivity, but and the FOV. So 103 is Fortnite FOV. So all those things matter. You can screenshot this. I think you can see this, right?
Oh yeah, I can see that. That's fine. Yeah, I've got that.
It's messed up on the thing, but
also
yeah,
on the DPI sense of things, a previous coach told me 1600 DPI was good, best. Like I've got a good mouse. I've got a Razer V2 Pro sort of thing. Is that right or is that wrong?
Say again. 1600 DPI.
So he said 1600 was it's better to run on 1600 DPI.
I run 800. I just upped to 800. I used to be 400 for my entire career, and I much prefer 800 now.
Okay.
But I
don't know if it's Wave 7. Yeah.
I do think there's something with like input delay. There does feel like a little bit different when you run a lower DPI. Like
right.
I don't know. It is preference at the end of the day. You can run 1600 or 800. It's literally whatever you want. The DPI is no, it doesn't. Like there's pros that are better than both of us that are on higher DPI and also on lower DPI. So it's like you look at everything like that. It's not a big deal.
Okay.
I'll share with you my warm up on Kovacs. The reason why I mean I've, as you can tell, I have a bunch of different playlists here. That these are all like my top playlists. These are my local files.
Yeah.
But I found this to be the best thing for warming up. Like, I mean, we can go in depth on these things, but this isn't necessarily going to help you get like S tier aim. This isn't an actual practice routine. This is just to warm your hands up. We're doing grid shot, which is a lot of flicking. We're doing a lot of tracking. We're doing more flicking. It's like, but quick flicks, right? Now that compared to the grid shot was like nice and controlled. You're doing another like really quick tracking one where you're actually using like a shotgun to kill the bot. So this is my warm up routine. This is what I try to do every day. I'm won't even lie. I'm not too honest with myself, or I am trying to be honest with myself here. I don't do this every day, but I should. And yeah, it's a good way to warm up your hands. Like for you, 18 minutes, and you can adjust these to be like 15 or 10 or whatever you want to do. I just have 18 because I think that's personally what's good for me. And then I'll give you one of these shotgun routines. I'll give you let's see. I'll give you the one that I've played a lot of. This one right here. I'll send both of you these codes. The SG2 is like that for me has been like my go-to. Like I've played hundreds of hours of SG2 and it's been really good.
I was thinking that in terms of like obviously it was making my aim worse, but at the same time I think if I did it enough it would be beneficial for my mouse control, my mouse movement and control stuff.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. There's that one. Let's see. Warm up. And then here's SG2. So both of those, and I think the SG2 is a 45-minute routine, but again, you can just adjust it to what you want. But no, Kovacs will definitely help you get better. Like that, the myth or like the feeling of like, no, this doesn't help me, like is definitely a myth for a reason. It will help you get better.
Is it one of those things where it's like you have to get worse first before you get better, sort of thing in that regard, or is it just
No, yeah, no,
Again,
definitely. Like,
okay?
I think also each scenario, like my aim routine may be way different than your aim routine, and in the sense that like you might need it to be a little slower. Like I can't play like Polarized's aim routine or like Threats' aim routine because they have like triple my hours on Kovacs. I can't play that because it's like their shit is way too hard. Right. So
Yeah.
I am like at the point where I'm getting to the point, level up, get faster and faster. A good thing with Kovacs is a lot of these scenarios, like if you were to look at the routines I sent you, a lot of the scenarios have like slower versions. So you can literally look up the exact name, be like slower or easy. It'll be like easy flick instead of like pump flick. Like easy pump flick is a scenario, and then pump flick is a scenario. So a lot of them have like easy or slower or even faster modes. So you can like, you know, adjust it how it is there. But yeah.
That's amazing. That thank you so much. I'll be practicing all that, I guess, and that should take me a good 6 months.
No. It won't. I think 1 month of doing this, or a couple weeks even, and you'll see improvement, like major improvement.
I mean, that's the goal in it. As long as I'm seeing that, I'm improving, then that's the main thing in it. So that's perfect. No, thanks for your time. I appreciate it, and thanks for running over as well.
100%, dude. Glad to help.
All right, I'll probably buy another session off you in like 6 months' time, and then we can see where I'm at then.
Sounds good, dude. I'm excited.
Appreciate it, mate. Thank you.
Good luck. All right. Later.
Bye bye.
That is the end of that. Shout out to Sure Shot. I think I think that was very productive, and I think it was great. I think personally helped him a lot. Curious what you guys think. But yeah, until next time. Later.